We've got cylinders 1 and 3 not firing correctly. We got a new FIC.
Hey guys, great video. Ed over here at FICM Repair. So, fun facts. If you have contribution codes, and those are the only codes you have, those codes mean that these injectors, or these cylinders rather, are not contributing to combustion for whatever reason. So the first thing that you want to, this is different than circuit high and circuit low. This is just, hey, these aren't contributing. If you've got that, the first thing you want to do is you want to look for a smooth crank. And so you just take your remote start engagement wire on the passenger side fender well, disconnect that bad boy, hook it up to the positive stud of the passenger side battery, and listen for a smooth crank. Okay, perfect. It cranks over smooth. So your base engine is good. You've got solid, you got even compression relative from one cylinder to the next. Then, if you go ahead and you say, okay, fine, you can ohm out the injectors and say, hey, do the injectors ohm out properly? And you can look up the specs on that, or you can just ohm out one to the next, to the next, to the next, and say, oh, look, they all match, or oh, this one's wildly different. Huh, I wonder if it's the problem. Yeah, probably. So you can do that. If you're still having a problem, you can go ahead and you can say, let me do what Ford calls a wiggle test on my injector harness. 9 times out of 10, this is a harness issue. Doesn't matter if it's an 03, 04, 07, harnesses, they fail. This is why I'm a huge fan of running heat wrap, header wrap tape on the up pipes on the backs of our trucks. Header wrap tape those bad boys, put a silicone spray. This stuff all available for sale on FICMRepair.com, and off to the races you go. So many people spend money on FICMs and that for this problem. And it's like, if you call us and you say you need a FICM, we're not going to say, let's sell you a FICM. What we're going to say is, what's the truck doing to make you think you need a FICM? Technical support from us is always free. The goal is never to sell you stuff, it's to tell you stuff. How many times can we bang this drum, right? So in this particular case, if I were guessing, the problem is the harness. But what you want to do is you want to go ahead and do what Ford calls a wiggle test. And really what that is you find one pin on one side, you find the same matching on the other side, and you bend the tarnation out of this thing, listening for your beep to stop beeping, and you're going beep, and all of a sudden, eep, and you know, yeah, I've got a break in my harness. Now recognize that's the simple man's test. If you want to get serious about this, what you'd actually do is put a load through the wires, because continuity, all it means is that this wire is connected. No conversation about via how many strands it's connected, just that it's connected. So you can literally be down to one strand in your stranded wire, and it's still going to beep at you, but that just cannot pass enough amps to cause a problem. So really what you want to do is you want to do an amperage test, a load test through these cables to go ahead and say, hey, let me see what's going on. But that takes a minute. So you might decide, forget this noise. My truck is 20 years old. That harness looks original. It's probably crusty. Let me just go ahead and buy a harness and call it a day. In fact, you might decide after watching this video, you're going to buy a harness and call it a day. That's great. They're available for sale on, you guessed it, FICMRepair.com. But so many people, they'll go ahead and they'll change injectors. They'll move them between holes. They'll buy FICMs that they don't need to buy. And, you know, I'm not aware of any of our competitors or even the people that we rep for, some of which are competitors, interestingly enough, that call their customers back and say, hey, you placed an order, what do you got going on? If you place an order on FICMRepair.com, unless we're just completely slammed, you're going to get a call from us saying, hey, I see you've got an order here for a FICM, or I see you have an order here for a harness, or I see you have an order here for a clip or a bolt or a nut or whatever. What do you have going on? And we're going to work with you to figure out what's actually going on and help you with the products that you need, not necessarily the ones that you think you need. If they're the same, great, but we probably modify, I don't even know. I mean, an incredible percentage of our orders that come in, just with a little more information, you're like, man, I don't want to order what I ordered. I give you a thank you for calling. And that's the goal. So we're all in this together. But recognize that contribution codes, if you got a circuit high code, it's either a bad injector or it's a bad FICM. If you've got a circuit low code, or it's a harness. Or if you got a circuit low code, it's either a bad injector, or it's a bad harness, or it's a bad FICM. If you've got a contribution code, it's either a bad injector harness, or just no compression, right? And so it's like, okay, but not the FICM. The FICM's not going to cause that. And so just keep that in the back of your mind. There's reasons why We carry everything because these are complicated motors. And on the one hand, it's so easy. It's just nuts and bolts, some would say. But it's like, no, there's some nuancial complexities here. And we don't want you guys spending half a day or longer troubleshooting something, pulling your hair out. Just give us a call. We'll walk you through it, and off to the races we go. Okay? We sell everything from everyone. And if a certain vendor offers a great thing, we'll tell you that. If that same vendor offers a crappy thing, we'll tell you that. And if you want to buy the crappy thing after we told you it was crappy, hey, we told you. It's good. We'll sell it to you. We got no problems here. We don't have a dog in the hunt. So because we rep for everybody, we don't have a preference necessarily. We're not trying to sell a particular solution to you other than the one that works. And the one that works has to work for you in practicality terms. In other words, yeah, that's your problem. And also for your wallet to say, hey, what's going on? In fact, if you're watching this video and you're strapped for cash and you're like, man, I got an injector harness problem. I know I do. I see some bare wires. You know, you don't necessarily have to go buy a new harness from me or anybody else. Go to your local home improvement warehouse and go buy some liquid electrical tape. Paint that stuff on your exposed wires. It's got a very high rubber content, and it might get you by for now. And if it does, praise God, yay team, thank Jesus, all the things, right? But if it's just too far gone, or you don't want to mess with it, you just want to push the magic reset button on life, hop on FICMRepair.com, buy yourself a new harness, and call it a day. And while you're there, if you're doing a turbo, if some other reason to have the turbo off, and you want to go ahead and header up tape your up pipes and silicone spray those bad boys to limit your heat going in the future, by all means do that. It might save you from not just this harness, but the far more expensive main engine harness as well. All right? FICMRepair.com. Guys, we're all in this together. If you're working on a build and you want some technical support on that, too, by the way, we totally got you. We can put up a build sheet together, get an idea of what you're up to, what your goals are for the truck. Oh, this is a pulling truck. Oh, this is a towing rig. This is a daily driver. Whatever it is. And oh, by the way, this is how much money I've got to work with. We can figure out a path that'll work for you and cover the pros and cons and help you navigate the minefield. Okay? So appreciate you so very much. Great video. Hope you guys solved the problem, but take a look at that harness. It's probably what it is. Thanks very much.